Hi everyone, it's Mika. Just wanted to make a quick video today about something that seems really relevant considering the circumstances we're in, and that's the deep breathing or relaxation breathing that we always hear about. It's in your kids' books. We use it at school all the time in terms of a coping strategy or to start a social skill group, for example. But it's one of those things that a lot of us don't necessarily really utilize to its fullest potential, and it's certainly beneficial to our kids. So I wanted to take the time and talk a little bit about its benefits, talk a little bit about the real technical correct technique for taking a deep breath, and also give you a couple of ideas on how to teach it to your child and make it fun while you're doing it, because it's a little more abstract than you would think off the top of your head. So first thing, let's talk about why we even bother with deep breathing. It actually is shown through research to have definite benefits on the autonomic nervous system. That's what controls all our heart rate, our breath rate, things like that. So when we take really true relaxing breaths, we are going to decrease our heart rate, lower our blood pressure, lower the rate of breathing, lower the release of cortisol, which is a stress hormone, lower the release of that in our system. So altogether, it really physiologically has a huge benefit and is really worth doing both as parents right now, I'm sure, and for our kids. It's shown to have a positive effect on anger management, on stress management. It's even a great thing to do right before your child's going to do an activity because it increases focus. So let's get it going and talk about the technical way to do this. So let's talk about what a real relaxing deep breath should look like. For our kids, if we say, take a deep breath, when I've done it in social skill groups or individually with a student, you'll see initially that big breath in, they kind of hold it, and then they'll blow it out like a tornado, right? Like a if you do that 4 or 5 times in a row in that fashion, this big gulp in and this massive breath out, you're going to find that it's really the antithesis of calming. Your heart rate's actually going to increase. You're going to feel more agitated. So it's really important for us to take the time and really work with our kids to teach them what a deep breath and a slow breath really is like. The technically appropriate and excellent way to take a deep breath is to really take that breath in through the upper lung and then continue. Just when you think you can't take any more breath in, continue until the belly expands. So again, upper chest expands, you continue breathing in until your belly actually rounds out, and you have a little round belly. That's the actual way that you're filling your upper lungs and then the lower part of your lungs, which frankly, most of us don't breathe all the way deep into that lower lung portion. So again, a reel for parents when you want to do this, at night before you go to sleep, right before you're cooking dinner, right before you're taking a walk with the kids, you can take that deep breath in through the upper lung, through the nose, keep taking breath in until you feel your stomach expand. And then when you exhale, the opposite, get that belly flattened, and then the upper lung is collapsed. Literally, you can see, even though you just see the very top of my body, you can see that your body will literally sort of contract in the process. So again, when you breathe in, always through the nose, breathe out, always through the mouth. That is a technically perfect deep breath. And ideally, you're going to breathe in for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, and exhale for the count of 4. Again, breathe in the lungs, into the belly, hold for 4, and then exhale for 4. That would be ideal. That's a really tough thing to ask of most of our students. So really, we're really happy with just a nice smooth breath in and a nice smooth breath out. A smooth breath in through the nose, a smooth breath out through the mouth. And that's what we're going to work on. And I'm going to give you some techniques and some activities you can do to kind of work with your child to get them to do a breath that is really relaxing and healing. Okay, really the top favorite technique to teach a slow breath is the handy dandy bubble. Now parents, if you have some of these bubble containers with no more bubble in it, I'm sure about 1.5 cup water, half a cup dishwater, and really important, 2 teaspoons of sugar. So again, 1.5 cup of water, half a cup of dishwater, dish soap, and a little tiny 2 teaspoons of sugar. The sugar is going to keep the bubbles from bursting quite as easily. So that's why that's important. Glycerin also works if that's what you have in the house, but frankly, I don't know who has glycerin in their house. I don't. So regular bubbles, obviously popular with most of our kids, and a very nice way to teach students to take a nice deep breath. Because if you blow too quickly and too hard into a bubble, it's just going to, do that. Messy, not a good thing. So in this case, with a bubble maker, you can very easily ask your child to take a deep breath in through their nose, hold the wand in front of them, and ask them to blow slowly. Immediately reinforcing, because the bubbles are great, right? Let me do it again because I think I was off camera for that one. I'll try it again. Ooh, that was a good one. So again, a nice slow deep breath in. I recommend you hold the wand at first because they might be very eager to blow on the wand. So if you hold it first and get them to take that deep breath in through the nose, you get the bubbles and you ask them to blow nice and slow. Oh, that didn't work. Try it again. There we go. So that's a great one. And it's super popular. So if you're not really fond of what I now have, which is soap suds all over the place, you can also use feathers if you happen to have those in your house. I don't today, but you can use something as simple as a piece of tissue, right? You tear a little piece of tissue, put it on top of a table, that's ideal, or a kitchen counter, and have your child take a deep breath in through the nose, and then breathe out to slowly move the tissue along the table. So again, a little piece of tissue that you tear, put it on the table, ask them to blow, take a deep breath in through their nose, and blow it gently. So simple ways, feathers, tissues, or bubbles are a great way to kind of make it fun to take that deep breath in through the nose and then that gentle, long breath out. Now, some other ways that you can make it fun to practice this are things like if your child likes to pretend, then it is a great simple technique to have them hold their hands out in front of them and have them pretend. It's a hot cookie, it's a piece of pizza, and have them sniff it and then blow to cool it. So, hey, I don't care. It could be chicken nuggets, right? Whatever they love that's hot, have them put that in their palm, pretend it's there, take a sniff in, and then blow it out. Very simple. No tools, no props needed, just some imagination. The other thing you can do is if your child has just a nice stuffed animal, this one's a little round, it might be tough. If you have one that has a flat edge, that would be easier. If you really want to practice that belly breathing, have your child lie on their bed, do the breathing. Breathe in, lungs expand, have their belly expand, and you'll see the animal rise and lower when you put it on their belly. It's fun for the kid because it's reinforcing. They can actually see that stuffed animal come up and down on their belly and on their chest. You can also videotape them doing it. That's really reinforcing. If they can then see themselves, then you can really make a big deal out of the fact that, the animal actually was rising and falling on their belly when they took deep breaths in and deep breaths out. So that's another way to make it sort of a game and have it be fun and rewarding. Now, to take it to that next step, let's say you now have practiced several times, you've done bubbles, you've done tissues, you've done feathers, you've done stuffed animals. The next thing to do is really to try and get it into a rhythm of several of these deep breaths in a row. And to do that, there's a couple of different ways you can do that. One is actually, these are online. Let me get them to you. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. It's a nice square. You can print out a square. You can simply use a piece of paper like this. I'll turn it the other way. You can simply use something like this, but something where you trace a shape. So now you are going to get them to take a breath in and a breath out, and you can trace a shape. So for example, you can go in and out and on and on and on around. But an even easier way, because not all of us have printers at home, and this is something that my friend, the OT senior Jody, told me, was to use your hand. So you use your hand, and the breath in goes in and out, in and out, in and out. You get the idea. Doing that with your child, you're holding their hand up, you're the one guiding your finger, so you really can pace the breathing. If you want to go in, out, that certainly you can, but that's not recommended because that's not relaxing. You want to count so that it's about 4 counts up and 4 counts down. 4 counts up, 4 counts down. And go that way 5 times in a row, very gently. And that'll really give your child practice in taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out, a deep breath in and a deep breath out repeatedly. Well, what I really recommend, hopefully this has given you some pointers and some ideas. I can't tell you enough how really beneficial taking a few times out during the day to do deep breathing like this, whether it's right before you sit down with your child to do an activity that the teacher sent home, whether it's right before a meal, because frankly, deep breathing also helps digestion. True story. Whether it's something that you do once in the morning, once at lunchtime, and once before bed. But really, I recommend that you make this a regular part of the day. Initially, make it fun, add these games to it, but then always end with something like the hand, where you're really starting to use a nice deep breath repeatedly. 4 breaths in through the nose, 4 breaths out through the mouth. Remember that, and that's really the main thing I want you to take away from this. 4 quiet breaths in, 4 quiet breaths out. And I hope, parents, you get a chance to do it too. I promise you it'll feel great. I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.